So how did you start to learn about this, like through consulting doctors or doing your own research on the internet or, a bit of both? Could you dive into that a bit?
Yeah, so I learned about PMS from biology class and also sex ed, but they only mention PMS, which is premenstrual syndrome, or premenstrual symptoms, depending on who you ask. Um, there were only a few statements on textbooks, and teachers don't typically cover it simply because there's also people who don't menstruate and there's men in class, so I took it upon myself to kind of read more into it because when I read the symptoms, I'm like, hey, I do have most of the symptoms that they mention in the textbook. And so I read more into it and I kind of jumped into this rabbit hole that's really beneficial in the way of how is that linked to hormones and what does hormones or imbalance in hormones do to me. And the second area I found was also through visiting a gynecologist who told me that I have imbalanced hormones. And frankly, till today, I still don't know if my hormones are balanced or not. I don't know how to balance them. I just kind of go by whether I feel a lot better or a lot worse.
Yeah, so you really just have to try and advocate for yourself and it that's so much pressure on you. And honestly, there should be more information out there and you should have that information available to you. So that's not right. So how have you been, managing these symptoms or treating them?
Frankly, so um, doctor visits are expensive, much less specialized visits like to the gynecologist. And so I tried Chinese medicine before, and that actually kind of cured my cramps. However, Chinese medicine is also something that you have to take in the long term. And because I moved to the States, I didn't continue taking them, and so my cramps are back. So that's one way, and the other way is really reading up again about hormones and how they get regulated or otherwise, and really trying out different methods. Like I've tried controlling diet, like in a way of maybe eating less sweets and sugars, and more vegetables and all that. But they haven't really cured my cramps. And for a period of time, I actually looked into PCOS. I don't really know what the long form is now, but basically, I think. Go ahead.
I think it's polycystronic ovarian syndrome. Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I remember a doctor saying that he saw like a growth in my womb, but it doesn't seem to be harmful, and so um I was worried for a period of time that that was what I have.
Yeah.
But otherwise, those were the ways I actually tried. It's really a trial and error method. I even kept away from cold foods like ice cream and cold beverages for 5 years. And that has helped. Yeah, that has helped my cramps. But I just couldn't resist. Who can ever resist ice cream and cold soda? So,
Of course.
um, yeah.